So guys, we got this 2008 BMW 750i that customer complaint is the brake lining message up. They said they put brakes on this. I don't know if they did or not. Didn't really look too well. And the AC didn't blow cold. Now I recharged the AC. I pulled it into a vacuum. It sat for like an hour for like a vacuum. And then I recharged it, and now it blows cold on this side, well, this side over here, but it doesn't blow cold on that side. That's why those vents are cold. So I'm going to do a health report here, and then we'll see what codes we have, because I think there was a code for some kind of water valve or something, or heater valve, and I think that can cause the hot, like, heat to come out one side. We'll see what shows up here. Okay guys, so this is what we got here. We got some cascodes, venting valve. Let's see, transmission. Let's see, tire pressure, anti-lock brake, pad thickness front. And let's see, can we get some AC stuff in here? Gonna be that lucky. That water valve right there, right water valve, that would make sense because it's the right side that's not working, unless the Germans are looking at it backwards. So I'm gonna look to see about this water valve, and maybe we'll lift it up and look at our pad, see if we have a pad thickness sensor or something that's screwing up. So guys, I came on Pelican Parts to see what this heater control valve was. Mitchell has no information. And it's a three-way valve. I think one goes to the passenger side, one goes to the driver's side, and then one gets fed by the pump. I think the pump comes in here, the electric pump, and then one goes to the passenger side, one goes to the driver's side. Now, I found the pump. It's right here, and you can see there's a hose underneath. See if I can get you guys set up here. So this hose underneath, that's all the way down here, that one down here, you see the tip that I'm touching, that comes over to the electric pump, which is right there. Right here is the electric pump, and I think the other ones are for the heater. So what I'm thinking about doing is seeing if we can see this with our thermal camera and see which hose it's getting hot, like if it's leaking. Let's see. So we have 200, looks like 220 degrees or so coming out of that. Yeah, it looks like we have like 220 degrees. Let's look at this back one. This back one, sorry about that guys. This back one's only like, what's this back one at? 140? So I think that's the ratio. I'm gonna try to see if I can pinch this off and then see if our AC works. So guys, I got the vent, well, the temperature sensor in there. This is number 2. See number 2? Over here is number 1, and right now out of number 2 we got 63 coming out. It's coming down. See it? Vent number 1 we have 50. So what I did was I repositioned my clamp a little bit, so you can see my clamp right there. So let me show you this. What are we down to now? We're down to 60, 59. So our temperature's dropping. Now watch what happens when I take this clamp off. Turn our light on. So we'll take this clamp off. Okay, so I removed the clamp. Watch our temperature. Watch how fast this climbs. This will go all the way up to like 90 degrees. So remember, this is what's coming out of the duct. Let's look at our other side. Other side staying at 49, staying nice and ice cold. Number 2, passenger side. It's warming up. Look how quick that's climbing. So if you're stuck on the side, if you're going down the road and your AC stops working on one side, this might be your problem. Just quick clamp it. Put a zip tie over it, something. Look how hot that's getting. We're up to 80, 81. And then if we clamp it off again, 82. Let's see. There we go, I clamped it off. Let's watch, this will start dropping. Look at that. Or are we still going up? Maybe I don't have it clamped right. Yeah, I don't think we're clamped right. It's hard to clamp on this thing. Oh, you know what? I think I put the clamp on a little too far. See if that makes a difference. There we go, now our temperature's dropping. So you can see our clamps on there. Now we're dropping. Let's look at our other side. My battery's dying on one. Let's see, did it shut off completely? It did. Turn this on and off. There we go. We got 52 out one. 58. Is it on like an auto cycle mode? There we go. I didn't know you can make it auto cycle between the two. Look at that dropping down. It takes a while because you gotta get all that heat back out of the system. So I'm gonna let this sit here and we'll see what temperature it comes down to. I've never worked on one of these systems like this, so I don't know what it does. All I know is I broke myself on one of those valves the other day because that valve gets pretty hot, but we're already down to 66 degrees. Other side's at 50. So what I'm thinking will happen is we'll probably get down to 40s because I have a feeling once this side gets down, it's going to pull temperature down on the other side. So guys, we got 50 degrees coming out of one and 54 coming out of the other. No idea why it's doing this thing again. There it goes, 54.9 coming out of the passenger side and 50.9 coming out the driver's side. So yeah, I think that's going to be like a confirmed fix. I ordered it in, it's going to be a couple days until I get the valve. So once it comes in, it's like $200 and some. So once it comes in, we'll put it in, we'll confirm it. And I'm going to go after this brake pad wear indicator now too. So guys, here's the issue. Somebody just wrapped this up here. And yeah, that's what happened. So somebody probably wore this down or broke it. Trying to remove it, you can see how corroded it is, and just twisted it up here. So I'm going to order another one. I guess we'll do that. Normally do the valve. And everything else looks good in here. Brake pads look new. So they all look new. Let's go to the rear. Let's look at the rear. So here we go. The rear looks good. So I think everything's good. So I guess I'll take this out now. And then we'll continue. There's a lot of panels missing from under here. And the wheel well liner, it's like I saw where it going. Assume there's supposed to be a wheel well liner. But yeah, we'll get those parts in and we'll see if it fixes it. So guys, we got a new part for the BMW. There's the old one. They look the same. So actually it goes on this way. And it's an actual BMW part. Got it through AutoZone, but it's an OEM part that came out of the box. So I'm gonna put some clamps on there and we're gonna see if we can do this without losing a bunch of coolant. Hopefully we can get it all out relatively easy. So guys, we got the old one out. You can see how rusty it is around here and everything. Now this is water that's on here. I was trying to see how they work because there's no theory in operation, but all the valves are open right now. So I'm assuming it closes the valves when you turn it on, like when you add power. There's 3 pins in here. Let's see if I can show. There you go. You can see the 3 pins. So I'm assuming it controls each valve independently, and then it just closes them. So, because right now I flowed water straight through the whole thing. So I'm going to get this connected back up. My clamps seem to work pretty good. We didn't lose much coolant. So I'm going to get this put in and we'll see if it works. So guys, this AC is like ice cold right now on both sides. So this is number 1. This is number 2. Look at this. 2's at 55 degrees right now. 1's at 53. I don't know if they have a cabin filter in or not, or if it's restricted, because like it blows out pretty decent, but I think the fan speed might be down a little low. But that is awesome. That's confirmed fix. Now I did realize when doing this, let's see if we get some data stream in here. Let's see, select all. Our coolant's 103 degrees, which is around 215 so degrees Fahrenheit. Let me close this door. Let's see, we don't have any codes anymore for that. For that valve. Oh, you know what? This didn't select all these. I don't even think it selected them all that time because it says 30 out of 33. See, I wanted the water valves. So here we go, on and on. So I think we probably should have tested that electrically, but I also did notice that somebody was in there. I noticed that somebody was in here, see, because that's probed. So I think I'm going to get my test light so we can see how these actually work. I didn't realize there was 3 wires. I thought it was only 2, so that's why I assumed that when the one side was on, the other side wasn't. But it looks like they probably share a ground. Or actually, they probably share a power, and then one side's grounded. Like they ground each one individually to control it. So we're going to prove that real quick. Okay guys, so we're going to test this valve real quick, see how this thing operates. So we're going to take our test light. Try not to ruin my test light. We're going to connect it to the ground post right here. And then we're going to probe this connector and see which one has power and which one has ground. So we're going to do the front one. So that has power because it's lighting our test light. So let's go to this other one. So this one doesn't have anything. Let's go to this side. So this one has power. So now if we move it over to ground, power, then we'll see which ones have ground. So this one doesn't have a ground. I think. No ground. And that one has a ground. So if we shut this car off, or if we change it to heat, if we change it to heat, we should know. So right now, let's see what we have out of our duct temp. So one is at 48, the other side's at 51. So let's turn this to heat. Put this up to 90. So now our valves should change up in the front. Oops. We want this at hot. Let's go back through these, put these on auto high. So now our duct temp should start coming up. Do we have to go through here and change the temperature? Oops. I really hate these controls. There we go. Now we got heat coming out of there. So now let's go see if our valves change. So look at that. Now we got ground on this one. Ground on this one. And ground on that one. So it adds power. It adds power to them because we're on ground right now. So anytime we touch ground, it lights the test light. So that's how that works. So there we go. I think the code said that the valve was stuck or something. We'll have to go see what the code actually said before. You know what? I think that this is the normal trim that BMWs have actually. This one right here that you turn. I think this is to trim it from hot to cold so you can fine tune the air. I had a couple people bring them in where they had the knobs on the dash that went red to blue, and it's to trim it. Like if you leave it in the middle, I think you're fine, but like if you put it all the way to cold, then in the wintertime it'll blow cold air out instead of hot, and in the summer if you have it to hot, it'll blow hot instead of cold. Just something to keep in mind. So we're gonna go after this sensor now for the brake pads. So guys, here's the new sensor. Well, this is the new sensor, and you can see the end of it, the difference. So it's definitely worn down. So I'm gonna put this new one in and we'll see if it fixes it. Okay guys, so we got that sensor clipped in the brake pad there. Got it all routed and clipped in, and it's clipped into the box up there. Had to unclip the box, put it in, but everything's in now. So we'll see if our coat goes away. Okay, so start this up. Let's see. Do we have to clear our brake pads? Let's see, do we have to use a scan tool for this? Sorry guys, I don't work on European cars much, but it seems like that's all I've been getting. Let's see, let's go back. This does say history. See, we do have that indicator on the dash, so I want to see if we might have to go in here and reset the thickness somewhere. We have no fault codes. We have to go in through this. Like, there is no information on this car in any of my repair information. Like, I had nothing on how that pump actually works. Let's see, rear brakes are okay. I guess I'll have to see how to clear this. So we don't get this code anymore. Because I believe that light there in the top center is for the brake pads. Okay, so I'm going to do some research real quick and then we'll come back. Okay guys, so I just went, let me go back. So I went into car data. And then I went down here to check. Like over here on the side, there was this check. So I pressed this and it says replace brake linings. And that doesn't do anything. So unless there's an issue with our sensor, let's see. Yeah, I guess I'll have to keep looking in Mitchell or call a friend, see if they could tell me how to reset this. Because usually in the scan tool, there's an option where it says, like I tried pad change, but pad change didn't do anything. I tried workshop mode, I tried doing the initial operation, and it just gives me codes. So guys, I was at Mitchell and they said that it shows like you can do it from this car data, like reset it, but then it says like not for, is it E65 or something? I think that's the E65 car. But then I noticed, like, if I went under maintenance right here, because it said CBS Reset is what they call it. I went under correction for vehicle data. Just takes a little bit to load. But this is their maintenance. This is their like how they keep track of their maintenance. Let's see, so we'll just press yes, it's right. And then it says it counter settings okay. Now we just have to wait. Because I think it updates the date and time when you come in here. And now it's going to read all the vehicle data. So now, if you look at our engine oil, it says 0%. Front brakes 0, rear brakes 33. So I'll come in here, I'll reset the front brakes. Let's see. Guess we'll just forecast. Okay. So that's done. Oh, look at that, our light's flashing. I think it might take our light out. Or is it not going to do it? Up. I don't know if it'll go out while we're in this. Did it reset it? Like, you can look at all your stuff in here, which is kind of cool. I wonder if I had to put like a date in here. Oh, maybe we have to set this. see, enter the brake pad thickness in millimeters. I'll have to convert this to millimeters real quick, guys. Okay, let's see if this will take it. I don't know what this service counter is. Oh, you know what? Is the service? I wonder if we should go back and change that. Is the service counter like how many years it is? Let's try to do this again. I'll have to research what the service counter is. So let's do... Just do a 5. There we go. Now let's exit this. I bet you that's years, because like this one says 0 months. 0 months. Let's see. A lot of people don't go in and do this stuff either. I get a lot of cars in here that have this, so we gotta go down here, end functions. This is a used car lot car, guys, so we're just going to, we're not even going to fix everything. Let's say continue. Let's see if we can start this up, see if it changes. Let's see. It doesn't even show the front in here anymore. Maybe this is just all the stuff that comes up for you to look at. Let's see, let's go back to main menu. Yeah, I guess this stuff comes up as it's coming up for time when you need to do it. So I'm gonna quickly look up, see what this service counter is, and then see if we have to change it. Okay guys, so I just did some research. So that counter doesn't really have any real useful value that I could see. That tells you how many times it's been reset. So I guess like if you go and manually reset it, it'll just increase it by 1. That's what it says in repair information. At least that's what I read on the TSB. And also to do this, from what I saw in repair information, you have to I think it said put the key in, then you hold this up here and it'll bring up a reset menu, which I'm not really worried about because I just use the scan tool. So I guess that could be useful, like if somebody doesn't change their oil and they keep resetting the light. But hopefully you learned something. These things are always kind of a struggle for me. But I'll see you guys later.